Hello, Truth Seekers. This is your Conspiracy Laws host, JB. Welcome to episode 000002. Today we're going to blow the lid off the funeral industry's anti-vaxxer movement. That's right. The funeral industry is behind this anti-vaxxer movement that is just it's causing all sorts of unnecessary suffering from measles and rubella and just all the stuff that really shouldn't exist anymore. Instead, we've got seedy, greedy people trying to take advantage of the rest of us, and it's not right. So let's start off by taking a little look at the funeral industry. It's a big business. Over $20 billion is spent every year in the United States on the funeral industry, and just a few companies control all the homes and services. And that $20 billion figure, that doesn't include secondary industries that rely on funerals like flower industry or headstones and all that. It's mostly like the crematoriums, the funeral homes, caskets, that stuff. $20 billion. And it just, as with just about every industry out there right now, there's mergers. And so all of the power, all of the money is going to just a few of these companies. And who are these companies? I did some research. And I'll just give you a few of the big names. One of the biggest one is Hillenbrand, which sells nearly half of all caskets out there. There's also Service Corp International, which owns 12% of funeral homes and cemeteries, crematoriums, that sort of thing. 12%. And there are a few more that just make up such a massive majority. Even Walmart is in on selling caskets and more, and just getting in on that. Of course, Walmart would. Anywhere there's money, they're gonna have a thumb in the pie. So let's also give a little history of the anti-vaccination movement, which is also called the Anti-Vax. The followers are called Anti-Vaxxers. This was launched by the British doctor Andrew Wakefield in 1998. He had a study that was published in The Lancet, and that kind of linked autism with vaccinations. And from there, it's just exploded. Dr. Wakefield is now in hiding in Texas, and with the help of, you guessed it, a shadow corporation that has been associated with the National Funeral Directors Association. They've hidden Dr. Wakefield, who refuses to back down from his study, even though it's been proven false. It's been shown that he fudged the numbers. The funeral industry actually blackmailed him to fudge the numbers. So let's go back and look at what was going on in the late 90s. Why would the funeral industry do this? So in the late 90s, life expectancy was seeing record high numbers. People just weren't dying as much as the funeral industry would like. And it's the life expectancy was just continuing to go up. The number of births wasn't really keeping up with the number of people dying, and so the funeral industry, they needed a way to make up their money. They could have, and they did. They could increase the prices for a funeral, the casket prices, the arrangements, all of that. But also in the late 90s, people were starting to see that the funeral industry, they were starting to see that the expenses were astronomical. They were bilking people out of money. A good example of this is, The Big Lebowski pokes fun of it. Sure, it's a comedy, but there's some truth in there. When Walter has the grabs a thing of coffee, a coffee can, to have his buddy Donnie's cremains put into, rather than spending thousands of dollars on an urn, which is what they try to do. That's how they make their money, and it's ridiculous. So the funeral industry, they've been buying up the old mom and pop homes, which are no longer able to remain financially feasible. They're taking over the homes that have been in families for generations. And so now there's just a few major companies in charge of everything. And when you get into the major corporations, it's all about the bottom line. It's all about how they can make more in the next quarter. They have no other responsibility except to their shareholders. They have no responsibility to us humans, to our country, to the truth, or anything. They'll do anything to make a few extra bucks. It's disgusting. It's disgusting how corporations work in America, but that's how they work. And to ignore that is to ignore the truth, and we are here for the truth. So they see their bottom lines going down, life expectancy getting longer, and they blackmail Dr. Wakefield. They start this anti-vaxxer movement. I was not able to find conclusive proof. I saw some spurious evidence, but not enough for me to say this definitely happened. But they have, I'm pretty sure they've influenced Jane McCarthy, who's another, the famous Playboy model, who is also a big name in the anti-vax movement. Who's the guy? Anyway, there's another famous TV personality. I'm blanking on the name. I'm sorry about this. Usually I'm on top of things, but I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. There's a lot to lose sleep over these days. But yeah, other TV personalities have been bribed by the funeral industry. It's easy when you're seeing your popularity go down, you're not able to keep up the lifestyle. That's when the funeral industry preys on these former stars, and yeah, it's disgusting. This is by no means the first time that the funeral industry has gone to great lengths to collect more dead bodies. It's been a strategy for over a century. I was recently reading a book, Killers of the Flower Moon, and in there it talks about how funeral directors, the people in charge of the funeral industry in Osage County, Oklahoma, they were behind some of the deaths of Osage Nation citizens, Native Americans, and it's just disgusting. That really pissed me off. And it's still there. It's still happening. Now they're just using more savvy means of doing it by this anti-vaxxer movement. So I think it's clear Conspiracy Laws is making it. So let's get into the anti-vaccination movement for a minute here. Yes, there are some potential side effects to being vaccinated. That is true. But autism isn't one of them. The side effects are mild, like you might catch a cold. It's very, very mild side effects compared to having measles or polio or any of the vaccines that you have. I was a caregiver for a guy with polio, and that's no kind of life to have. It's terrible. And with vaccinations, we can completely get rid of these ailments, and we were close to it. We were very close, and the The funeral industry started this anti-vaxxer movement in the late 90s, and it's just taken hold despite all the research showing that the claims of the anti-vaxxers are BS. They're basing their info off of like really disreputable websites, nothing that is worth believing. And the media isn't helping with their equal time to equal sides. But that's about all I want to cover now. I just want to point out that there is so much more to this that I'm going to be covering in future episodes. I don't want to get too deep into it right now because I want to confirm my research. I don't want to just come at you with spurious stuff. But it's out there. You can research it yourself. It's very easy to find. I recommend doing your own research. I'm going to give you a hint about my future episode, what I'm currently researching. I just want to point out that the funeral industry is currently at war with Big Pharma. You're not seeing it like on the primetime news, but it's happening, and the evidence is all over the place. You just gotta know where to look, and I'm putting together a comprehensive episode that will uncover this and help you out. So I'm going to end it here. If you have any questions or ideas, please comment below. Please support the truth by subscribing to the Conspiracy Laws channel and sharing the truth with your friends. And we'll be back tomorrow with an episode about the NRA's control of the media. In the meantime, think about what we've talked about today. We awake the world tomorrow.